What's going on, folks? Welcome back to D-Life HD. This is Victor, and today we are going to be discussing the Monster Hunter Rise 3.0 update that just dropped. So without any further delay, let's jump right into it.
Switch it up. Switch it up. I was a worker, had to upgrade to a boss. Switch it up. Used to live in the hood, but had to upgrade to a loft. Switch it up.
One of my biggest gripes with Monster Hunter Rise is that I really don't feel like it launched with enough content. I mean, honestly, there's a certain level of expectation that I've set for myself when it comes to Monster Hunter games coming out. Typically, I feel like I'm a little bit spoiled because in America, we typically get the more expanded version of the game when it first comes out, because it takes a while for them to localize it. So in Japan, they sort of get like the dumbed down version of the game, and then the expert version of the game called the G-Rank version will launch about a year later. And usually that's when we'll finally get the game. So typically, we're used to waiting a long time, but the game's launching with a lot of content. Now with Generations and World, that was not really the case. They launched in their basic state, but still, they were full of a lot of content, and I feel like Rise was just missing particular aspects. And this has been said time and time again. It was obviously a very harsh, critical part of why people disliked Rise when it first launched. But I have to say, with the 2.0 and 3.0 updates, they've added a lot of content. I mean, it's not just about how many monsters are in the game that really defines how much content is in it, but even at that, they added, let's see, 4 base monsters in 2.0, and then 2 apexes. And then with this 3.0 update, as far as I know, which I haven't completed all the content in it yet, so I can't really speak, they've added 2 base monsters and then 1 apex. And that's honestly a lot of content. And not to mention they've actually added particularly new areas. I haven't got to them yet, but that's something I've seen online, like a new arena for us to fight higher level monsters in. Another gripe that I had was the difficulty. This is, again, not just me singling out this particular thing. This is something that lots of people have a gripe with Rise about, is it definitely leans towards the casuals. And we kind of felt like we were getting shortchanged when it comes to the people who are looking for a serious challenge in the game. And I have to say, the final boss, which actually came out with this 3.0 update, was very challenging for me to solo. I'm not the best at video games, but I still like a little bit of difficulty, especially in my Monster Hunter games. And this final boss gave me a lot of trouble, and I'm excited to see what, these higher level monsters are going to be in this 3.0 update. Because not only do we have Valstrox, which is like a pretty difficult monster. I mean, in Generations, I have soloed him, but it took a lot of work. And now we have him in the game, so I would assume that he is relatively difficult. And it's actually a variant that is a little bit more powerful and has new moves. But also, there are new advanced quests which buff up the monsters and make it a lot more difficult to fight. And I haven't gone and done any of those advanced quests yet, because, I mean, this 3.0 update basically dropped within the past couple of days. And of course, there are people who have already beat it, but I myself, I'm trying to take it slow, because they're not releasing another title update for a while, and I want to have the content that's there last me a while. But the 2.0 and 3.0 update definitely rounded out the content, because the base game didn't even have a proper final boss. You fought particular Elder Dragons, as you do in most Monster Hunter games at the end game, but you didn't actually have a boss that tied together the end of the story. But with this 3.0 update, that boss is in the game. It is a spectacle of a hunt, and I highly encourage anybody who is pushing their way along to get to it and enjoy it, and maybe do it with a friend, because it's pretty difficult. So yes, the content in this 3.0 update definitely rounds out what we were missing. Now, I don't really dive super deep into the whole meta aspect of Monster Hunter because it just hurts my brain, but I actually have been working on a pretty powerful set in this game, and the funny thing of it is I actually had most of it completed before the updates even came out. So I feel like the sort of meta grinding end game stuff, for me personally, I don't really mind the base game, because I'm not looking for like the top tier armor set, the top tier combination of decorations that's going to make me the most powerful person in the world. I'm mainly looking to build my own custom sets, and what the base game had was basically enough customizability for me to really make a set that I'm going to use for a while. Now, from what I understand, the Valstrax set is pretty broken, and I'm really excited to actually fight the monster and get my hands on it. But yes, from what I understand, this 3.0 update, not only does it conclude the story, not only does it add more monsters, which includes an Apex Zinogre, and Zinogre's my favorite monster, so that's super exciting. I can't wait to go and hunt that thing. And it adds all of the Apex monsters outside of Rampage, but also it sort of rounds out a lot of the meta aspect. Even though I don't dive super deep into it myself, it is the case that, you know, they've added a few more decoration types, they've added the Valstrax armor, and it seems like we really have in-game sets that are going to last us for a while until the actual G-Rank expansion comes out. I don't know what they're going to do for the G-Rank expansion, like, because from here, all we're really going to get, to my knowledge, is event quests. And what I hope is maybe an event quest here and there will drop that features a new monster. Like, hey, we're doing this event quest and now Deviljho's in the game. Or something of that nature. But I don't know what they're going to do for G-Rank. And this makes me really excited because, you know, Iceborne from World, I actually have never played Iceborne. But I know all the content that's in the game, and it has a new area, and it has a new village, and it's got the Master Rank expansion, which is what they're calling G-Rank now, and it's just exciting to see where Rise is going to go down the line. And I'm curious to see what they're going to do for a G-Rank expansion. From here, there's not a super clear roadmap other than the fact that we're just going to get some event quests down the line, because I think they want to focus on marketing for Monster Hunter Stories 2, which, I mean, is going to take up a lot of my time when that comes out. But for now, all we can do is hope and dream, and maybe we'll find more information soon. But one other thing people have been talking about is, should Rise have waited to launch for when they actually had all this content? And I am leaning towards no, simply because I would much rather be able to get my hands on it as early as possible, even if it's not as polished. But from a general gaming standpoint, I would say it's much more important to have a game be polished before it launches. Typically, I would say that with any game, I'm willing to wait. Monster Hunter's kind of just a unique experience when it comes to that, because I love the franchise so much. But I feel like, taking away my bias, yes, Rise should have waited to have this content. It launched too early, it was not finished, and that's very clear, and I think they've been clear about that. So I hope this doesn't become a habit down the line. I really hope Stories 2 is polished when it comes out, and whatever Monster Hunter 6 is going to be, I don't want that to launch early. But for now, we got what we got. Rise 3.0 really polishes the game, and I'm excited to see what the future of the franchise is. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this video. We love talking to you guys. Remember to like and subscribe for more videos like these. Lastly, check out our Twitter account for gameplay of the latest releases. But most importantly of all, remember to always stay one up.